Good afternoon, guys. It's working, bringing you a quick update on EOS. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. We're looking at EOS to the US dollar 4-hour chart on Bitfinex, guys, and I'm revising my Elliott count. I've talked with a few of you guys about this, and a few of you've asked me about this. And what we're looking at is, we saw price came down. Last time I gave you an update where price was sitting right in this area, and we saw price came down, started to respect this descending resistance line, never had a breakdown to that, just kind of impulse right back up from there, which was very, very telling. When price impulsed right back up from there, came back without any further correction, guys. And then we had a perfect hit right off this descending resistance. I've been warning you about that for a very long time. In fact, my initial Elliott count had that primary wave 3 coming up and hitting that descending resistance line. That's exactly what's happened here. Hit that line, had a strong rejection right there where we were expecting it to hit. As I've talked to a few of you about, some of you I haven't, but a couple of you have asked me about this, and you guys are 100% correct. We had if we look at pull our fib extension, we pull swing low, swing high of our wave 1 to the bottom of our wave 2. What do we have? We had a perfect hit right off the 618 fib level. We know that wave 3 often when it breaks the 1.0 fib, it often hits the 1618 fib. That's exactly what we had. So that's you can't ignore that, guys. That is a primary wave 3. I was incorrect calling this the primary wave 3, guys. I was looking at that strong breakdown, expecting it to come down more, and that never happened. So I have to count all of this as my primary wave 3. So those of you that were asking me about that, and I apologize I didn't give you an update yesterday, guys. I was with family, but those of you who had been asking me about that, I've been private messaging with about. Yes, you're actually 100% right, and the fact that we have this technical hit at the 1618 absolutely confirms that we are in that was a third wave, and now we are in our wave 4. So we're looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4, and up for the 5. So that's what we're looking at now. So now that means that we'd be looking at an ABC correction. We've broken this trend line here, excuse me, to begin our wave 4, and I'm looking at something like an A, B, and C. Something is like this is what I'm expecting. Possible short-term rise here. Hit the top of this trend line, back down for that C. Doesn't mean that has to happen, guys. We may see something like a flat. We may see an expanded B. There's a couple of things that could happen here. If price does break above this descending resistance, I am expecting it to rise into the $7 range. As I've told you guys many times, if this resistance is broken, price will quickly rise probably to $7, $7.30, somewhere thereabouts, knowing that that zone up there is a very strong supply zone, a very strong resistance. If it does get up there, guys, I'd be looking for a possible bounce. In fact, that'd be a decent area to possibly short. If it does come into this zone and starts moving sideways, that's going to be extremely bullish, guys. If it hits this zone and just kind of moves sideways or just slowly starts trending up, or just kind of, like I said, kind of up and down, that's going to be very bullish. If price can hold its ground in this supply zone here, then I think there's a very good chance we're going to break out to the upside. And looking up, I think from $7.30 up to $8, there's almost no resistance. This is the first time we start seeing resistance right around the $8 range right here, and the strong resistance is sitting right around $8.15. So we could see a quick rise from $7.30 to $8.15 if it does end up breaking out. To the downside, guys, what we're looking at, and we can't ignore, and I pointed this out last time, we still haven't had really much resolution on the possibility of that bearish hidden divergence that we were seeing. I'll point that out one more time for those of you that missed it looking at the daily chart. We had looking at the histogram, we had a higher high here. If we come here and look at the daily, knowing that this entire thing was a larger downtrend, even though the short trend ever was an uptrend, the larger, bigger picture was a downtrend, guys. And if we look at our price from here to here, as I pointed out last time, price created a lower high. That's hidden bearish divergence looking at the upside anytime you see a downtrend. And again, we haven't really, considering this was on the daily, you would expect a much bigger breakdown in price. The higher the time frame, the more of a reaction you get. And so we should have had a much bigger breakdown in price. We haven't had that yet. Now, it doesn't mean that that has to happen. It just means that it's very unusual that we haven't had a higher breakdown, or that price hasn't broken down further than it has. I would expect at least $6. Somewhere thereabouts. But again, it doesn't mean that has to happen, and we'll have to wait and see. One of the things that we are keeping an eye on here, if I come back here to the 4-hour, is this zone right here. This order block right here seems like a very strong resistance, in my opinion. It was, support. Price came down, hit that, and then kind of bounced right off of that. The top wicked into it and bounced right off of it. Wouldn't be surprised to see price come up, hit the top of this resistance, back down, create almost a flat, and then end up impulsing up from there. That's a real possibility. If price does end up breaking down, I do think $6 is a likely target. If we pull our swing low to swing high from our wave 3. what do we have? Well, first of all, let's put this into context. If we go swing low, swing high from our wave 1 and target our wave 2, see where our wave 2 hit. As I showed you guys last time, we had a perfect hit off the 786 fib level. So a very deep retracement, but a very technical retracement. Okay, so if wave 2 goes deep, wave 4 typically goes shallow. We know that the wave 4's probability tells us wave 4 hits somewhere between the 50 and the 382 fib. I think it's like 65% of wave 4s hit between the 50 and the 382 fib. However, we had a very deep wave 4, so I wouldn't be surprised to have it, the upside of that, which would be about the 382. Possibly even the 236, but that'd be extremely bullish if we didn't break through the 236. But again, if we do end up having some kind of a flat, yeah, it may be it. We had almost a perfect hit off the 236 with our A wave. So let's wait and see what happens here, guys. That's very possible and be very, very bullish. But if it does break down, we're looking at maybe the 236, just probability tells us that's going to be somewhere around $6, 5.95, somewhere thereabouts. If it does break below that, I'm going to start to get rather concerned. If it breaks the 382, guys, comes down, I'm going to need this 5.80 to hold. If 5.80 doesn't hold, if this area here doesn't continue to act as support as it did right here, if that breaks down and we get below 5.80, I'm going to get very, very concerned that we're going to come much lower. Obviously, we need to stay out of the wave 1 territory, which is sitting at about 5.36. If it does break into wave 1 territory by more than a wick, again, I'm going to get very, very concerned that we might be coming much lower, possibly invalidating this count. So I have to wait and see how it plays out, guys. But for now, we are still staying technical. I am still expecting a B down for the C and then an impulse up from there to begin our 5th wave, if that does happen. So anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it there. If you have any comments, questions, suggestions, please let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, I would appreciate it if you hit that upvote or that like button. Just lets me know you want me to continue to make these videos. Until next time, guys, please take care of yourself. Oh, one more thing. I forgot to point out, guys. I do apologize. It's very interesting we're not seeing a stack in short orders the way we are with Bitcoin. If you had looked at my Bitcoin analysis prior, we just had a massive influx in short orders. We haven't seen that with EOS at all, which may explain some of the divergence in price between EOS and Bitcoin over the last 48 hours. But still interesting. Looking at EOS as longs. Longs have stacked a little bit in the last 12 hours or so, 48 hours or 24 hours or so, but not too tremendously. Still remaining relatively stable on longs. Shorts remain relatively low, so really no obvious move for market makers to push price in either direction. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it plays out, and could just indicate a very technical ABC correction followed by an impulse up. Again, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. So I will wrap it there, guys. Until next time, trade safe, take care of yourselves. This is Working, signing out.